How are you?
I'm good, I'm chilled. I'm very hungry. I haven't ate all day, so it's kind of like my fault.
Can you smell the Nando's that's outside?
No, I can't. Don't. I'm so hungry. But I wanted to get into my first question. How did you go about turning your childhood into like an actual film?
Well, it was a very long process,
yeah.
I have to be. But it started with me just, being in my bedroom writing because I couldn't get sleep at night. And there were certain things that were eating me up inside. Yeah. And in order to, get a good night's sleep, I was just writing out and ended up with a 500-page manuscript. And, I just adapted that into a screenplay and I sent it to a producer I was working with at the time, and he said it was really good, but I could get some, assistance and objectivity with material if I went into Sundance. So I submitted the screenplay and it was accepted into the Sundance labs. And what that is you get a bunch of mentors. Susan Shillerday, Kathy Hardwick, Bronnie Mantovani, who did City of God. They take your script apart, and they give you advice. And
they're like, I think this would be amazing for this actor. His name's Damson Idris.
Yeah, and you put it together.
Yeah.
And I think what came out of that was it didn't make me change the narrative. It just made me more confident with the voice that I wanted to speak, and it prepared me for ultimately making the film. So I shot the short film after that, which showed the industry that I was the man to direct it, and then it took another 10 years to get the money. So it's been a really long, arduous process, but it's just to say to anybody out there that's thinking of writing, you just never give up on your dream, you just keep on going, and hopefully, it will materialize.
I mean, how old was you? Like, did you know at this point, was it like a diary, or did you know that, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it into a film? Like, how did it come around?
Well, when I'd written the screenplay, it was very visual, and obviously being an actor, it was very organic for me. It was in industry, and I said, well, I wanted to make this as a feature film.
How old was you?
Well, it was 15 years ago, so probably like in my 30s, mid-30s. So
he was 13 years old.
I was 16. I was 10, and it was a good chunk of time, but it was only once I finished writing the screenplay that I knew that I wanted to make it a feature.
Nice. Damson, how was it for you, like on set, being with these guys filming?
It was amazing. Working with Adewale, I knew I'd have to be at his disposal because it was his story. But the fact that he was an actor moving into directing was something I admired, something I want to do in the future.
You're a brilliant director, by the way.
Thank you. But at the same time, it was really important for me to trust him, completely trust him. And not only is this his story, but he's an actor, so he knows exactly what I would need to go through to give off what he needed in the script.
Right.
And so he was able to be right there with me, and that created a great bond between us.
Yeah, because the film's very intense. Did you feel any pressure of playing the role, like, to a T?
Pressure's a weird word. The only person I ever wanted to please was Adewale, and it's a shame because he's the director, but if it was a real person and I was playing Sidney Poitier, he's the only person I'd want to please. I want to please the director of that movie.
Yeah.
And so I was actually really lucky to be pleasing someone who was directing me, and he'd come into my trailer and congratulate me about the work we did the day before, and he really just pushed me fully. There'll be times after take 2 I feel like we've got it, and we'd do 3 more takes, and I'd thank him after for giving me that because we was able to go to a different place. So he took the pressure off me.
Okay. And what made you say yes to the script?
Oh my lord. I mean, I said yes as soon as I read the script because I knew it was a true story. I knew farming was something I didn't necessarily know about before, and I was quite frankly excited to use my own native tongue, even though I only had 10 words in the movie. But it was going to be interesting to work in London, to work with British talent, and to tell a story and a piece of British history that not many people know about.
Nice. And what struggles did you face, like, whilst making the movie?
Well, there's the inherent emotional struggles that you go through telling the story about your
It's
own
like
life.
revisiting.
Yeah, you literally have to relive every experience, and in imparting to Damson how I may have felt at a certain time, I had to relive it, you know, almost had to cry with him, you know, so that we were both there and he could trust me and you know, and create that space, you know. But I think, you know, besides the logistical challenges of having a small budget, but, you know, making a period film, you know, because it's quite a, you know, overwhelming undertaking given the budget that we had to pull off what we had done, you know, a period film. So there's that, and then there's also the weather. You know, you come out and you've got everything scheduled and then it just rains. And so you have to think very fast on your feet, and you're like, but I've spent, you know, 15 years, you know, writing this scene a certain way, and now I can't shoot it. And you know, this is not a major budget movie where we can come back tomorrow and do it. It's like, well, that's it, Addy. we're moving on to that. So you really have to think on your feet. And what it does is, I think that's probably the exciting part, because, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. You know what I mean? You really have to get creative when pushed up against the wall, and it brings out something that's actually better. There were scenes where, you know, I'd written the script, but what the actors or Damson would do may not have been exactly the same, but it was better, or it represented, you know, the message that, and I take that. You know, so you just have to think on your feet. But I think probably the biggest challenge was the emotional one, and not having the opportunity to just languish in my emotions, because I've got to drive, you know, the ship of the helm, so or the helm of the ship. So, you know, that was it.
And with you being a black male in society nowadays, like, did you feel like you could relate, not directly everything that was told in the story, but like part to the character that you played?
I'm fortunate to have been brought up in Peckham where everyone was black. So,
oh, okay, so you're alright.
But you're okay. You only had 12 different carpets and roaches and pissy mattresses. But to be fair, what I will say I took away from this film is a new sense of lack of ignorance, actually. I always used to think travelling was the cure for ignorance, but watching films like this really is. Racial slurs have developed a strong sense of, you know, armour against them now, and I don't feel like those things define me, and I don't feel like if that's said to me it's going to impact me in any way. In fact, it empowers me, and it makes me know that you're ignorant and I'm of a higher level. So that's what I've got garnered from playing this part.
What other struggles did you face?
The biggest struggle I faced with playing Annie was just staying in that dark place, you know. And I say dark place from a sense of understanding the burden that this had on the actual person, and understanding how this really did define the man we see before us. And I wanted to stay true and respectful to that, and I wanted to display that in the most prestigious way. So I didn't want to go half-hearted, really. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I felt like we didn't have a full day where I gave my all.
Yeah.
And he really did. He you know, left his soul out there, and I can't thank him enough. And you know, just to say that playing the character, the type of character that Damson played, is one of the most difficult, because he doesn't say much dialogue. He only actually has about 10 to 12 lines throughout the movie. So most of what he does, he emotes through his face, and that's very difficult. And also, I remember we did one of the really challenging scenes where he's racially abused and sprayed, and he said, when we finished, he said, wow, I can relax a bit now, I've got the heavy stuff out of the way. And I said to him, well, not exactly. Everything you're going to do is going to be heavy. Even when you smile, it's going to be loaded with guilt, shame, you know, fear, and joy. So, and he got that immediately, and as he said, we shut him off, particularly from the makeup trailer, because he's a very handsome man, and all the ladies were fawning.
He was always saying that.
Not lying.
He'd be like, "He's too handsome. Put some mouth mayonnaise over there."
I had to push the lady. I said, no, in 5 weeks' time, you can do all the fawning you want. Right now, he's mine, and this is So, but he really put his soul out there on the it's a great role for a young actor. If I had been that age and seen that kind of role, a lead role where you can really show your the layers and range of your craft, I mean, I would have loved it too.
Nice. And what kind of things, on a light note, what kind of things did you guys get up to on set on your breaks? Was you still in an emotional
I definitely didn't have a break. I was literally sitting on my chair facing the wall most of the time. That was my process and my ritual. But he was mostly focused on the next scene.
I was on the next scene. But I will say this, that even though the film has some of the subject matter is quite strong and intense and profound, the set was very light-hearted because we had a lot of children in the movie, so we had to create an environment where they felt comfortable and food and the skins were pranksters. Damson couldn't really partake in that. He was like facing the wall.
It was annoying. I wanted to play like they would always look like they're having so much fun, like the skins, not just be in the corner like this. Like, sure.
It was fun. I've been watching it just to make sure, but the skins were pranked, always up to pranks, as was Kate Beckinsale, who plays my foster mother, Damson's foster mother in the movie. She's has a healthy sense of humour, and really took to the children, which was one of the delightful.
The woman's touch.
Yeah, the woman's touch.
Who was the funniest then? That's what I've got to find out. Who was the funniest between you two?
Oh, definitely him.
Well, thank you so much. The movie was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me.